favorites. She's taught us as individual agents. It's just amazing how she goes out of her way to teach us E-Edge. I reached out to Lori Ballen last summer. I was trying to learn E-Edge and trying to teach agents how to get behind it. And what I noticed on Facebook was she was sharing her super secret ninja strategies with average guys like me. And I really loved that. And last summer, when Calvin was out, I was shorthanded in the training department. And we actually teamed up on 3 different webinars together. And I have to tell you, we crashed go-to webinar the 3rd day. But we, every day, had 500 agents on those webinars. So without further ado, let's get straight to the training from Lori Ballen. She's going to show us how to lead generate. And I love how she mixes out-of-the-box ideas with the E-Edge Market Leader Pro and Realty Generator platform. Lori?
Thank you, John. Am I on here? All right. Hi, everybody.
Hey, Lori.
Okay, so how many of you guys know me from Facebook? Yeah, I figured there's quite a bit. Really quick, my husband and I, for those of you who don't know and haven't heard of me, my husband and I actually came over to Keller Williams in September of last year. And we were formerly with Coldwell Banker, and I got into real estate in 2007. Before that, we had a catering and entertainment company that we actually built to the 7th level, enjoyed a few years off. The market tanked. We realized we needed to go back to work and weren't going to be able to live forever off of what we ended up selling our business for, so we got into real estate. And Coldwell Banker, they weren't real team friendly, so sharing was not something that was done on a regular basis. And in fact, we were kind of penalized if we shared too much. So it's been an amazing move for us to come over to Keller Williams, and you guys have just welcomed us with open arms. The sharing is unbelievable. I just can't believe how much people here share and encourage us all to share. So I'm really excited. I'm one of those people that, just to let you know now, my husband and I, we came over, it was only 2 of us, and now we have a team of 14. So we went from 2 to 14 in a year, and we closed 101 sites last year with just the 2 of us and an admin before our team got all built. So we're massive internet lead generators. That's what I do, that's what I love. I've built my team around the ability to spend full-time lead generating and creating vision and growing my team. So I'm a little different. I'm a high DI pro personality, so analytics scare the bejesus out of me. So I'm not real analytical. You may be surprised when I show you what I do, but I'm not as technical as John Foley and Ben Kinney and Chad Hyams and all the geeky squad. But what I've done over the years is I've figured out how to create a message, how to reach a massive audience, give them what they want, and capture the lead, and I figured out how to do that through technology. So some of the things I'm going to show you today may be really basic in your world, or they may be things you've never seen. And I'm not one of those people that ever assumes to know what you know and what you don't know. So what we're going to do is we're just going to do a 30-minute presentation. I'm going to show you what my day looks like when I get up and do my lead generation. And this brings me about 800 leads a month. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to, go ahead.
800 leads a month.
800 leads a month, yes. And we could crank that up if we wanted to, but we've just started adding all the buyer's agents, so they're overwhelmed already with that many leads. I do a lot with press releases, I do a lot with video, and we're not going to be able to get into all of that today. Like I said, this is just an overview. At 1 o'clock we do have a Craigslist panel following this, and I invite you guys to stay for that. So what we're going to do now is I'm actually just going to show you guys what my day looks like when I get up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, I do. And I'm very sleep deprived from this trip, let me tell you. Anyway, so I'm just going to literally walk you through what it is I do. I want to ask you guys really quick, as I don't know in this room, how many of you want to see what it looks like to create an ad to generate buyer leads? If you want to see one of those, raise your hand. Okay, if you'd rather me do an ad that shows you how to generate listing leads. Yeah. Okay, that was a test and you passed. We all know you have to have listings to get the leads, okay? So in all of the mass markets, I hear a lot of people talk about generating buyer leads or using Craigslist and how are we going to get all these buyers. And I'm a true believer that you have to have listings to be able to generate buyer leads. And I'll tell you, you can get 99, I range between 80 and 100 listings, and they're all brand new business. I don't have REO accounts. It's all brand new business, and it's all generated online. I get about 1% that's not generated new business online. So I'm really passionate about the fact that you can do the exact same thing you do to generate buyer leads, you can do with listing leads online, okay? And although I'm an advocate of Craigslist, about half my leads come from Craigslist, the other half do not. More of my closings come from the half that do not. So I'm very big on running the whole gamut to make sure that I cover the web. Okay, so what I'm going to show you now is my entire mission when I lead generate, besides capturing the lead, is what I want to happen. I want somebody to go to Google, because that's where everybody's going still. And when they do a search, I want to make sure that I come up on page 1 at least 3 times. That's my entire mission when I do my lead generation, is what am I going to do to show up on page 1 when they type in a search string that I'm going to show up. So that's what we're actually going to show you. And I will ask you guys to save your questions. We're not going to get a whole lot in, but we're going to try at the very end to whip some out really quick. So you write them down, because you're not going to be able to shout them out right now, okay? Okay, so I use 4 web browsers. I use Chrome, Safari, Firefox. I don't really use Internet Explorer, so those 3 are my 3 major ones. And I use them for different purposes, and when I'm doing this, what we're going to talk about today, I use Chrome, just FYI, that's the one I like. So what I've done is I've actually just saved my bookmarks here. I'm going to go down to my bookmarks, and I have what's called a lead generation browser. So I get up, first thing I do in the morning is I click open all bookmarks, and my lead generation browser opens for me, okay? So up here is going to be all of the sites that I actually post all of my ads on, and I believe John's going to have those up at the end for you so that you can write them all down. Okay, now what we're looking at here, this is my eEdge site. I do have the Realty Generator product, not for pay-per-clicks, not for paying for buyer leads, but the system itself. So you may see a few tabs on my website that look a little bit different than yours on your eEdge site, but you can do the exact same thing with the site that you have. So don't let that concern you. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you how to create an ad that's unique to you by using your website that you have. And it can be any website that you're using. But obviously today I'm going to show you how to do it from the Market Leader product. So I'm going to go over here to my Sell tab, because we're going to make a listing ad, okay? Now everybody has this, right? Has anybody not seen this on your eEdge site, what I'm showing you here? We all have this little graph, this little form actually that they can fill out to find out what their home is worth. I'm in Las Vegas, and in Las Vegas, all of my listings are short sales, if that tells you anything. So we're in a distressed market, so running ads like find out what your home is worth or get a free CMA are not very powerful. You can imagine. In my market, they're asking questions a little bit more like, what are the consequences of a short sale? You know, so when I'm going to create those ads, I'm going to get a lot more short sale friendly, but for the sake of today, we're going to use this form because there's markets that aren't as heavily. So this works in either way. But if I were doing it for distressed market, I would add a lot more distressed language to what I'm about to show you, okay? Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to create an image ad out of what we're looking at. And there's a lot of different ways to do this. And everything I'm going to show you, depending on who you talk to, they have other ways to get to the same result. It doesn't matter how you do this. So I'm going to show you the tools I have. Your computer probably has different tools, or you have access to different software. None of that matters. In Windows 7, I have Windows. We all have what's called a snipping tool. Okay? Now, if you don't have a snipping tool, you can use Jing, you can use Screenshot, you can use a paint program to snag the image, which is what we're about to do. Okay? So I'm going to go down here, and I'm going to go to my snipping tool. And what it does is everything gets faint in the background, and basically what it's asking me to do now is to draw a box around the image that I want to grab. Okay? So we're going to make a sell ad here. So I'm actually going to just go from here. And it's just like when you're cropping a picture. I'm just drawing a box around this little ad right here. Okay, so what it does now is it creates an image out of that little form. Very simple, right? Okay, so now I'm just going to save this as sell picture. Now we're going to go create our ad. Okay, so I create in Blogger, blogger.com. It's just a free blog site. It doesn't get a lot of Google rankings, even though Google owns it. It's just where I like to design my ads. You can use anything you have. You can use an HTML editor, whatever it is that you're using is perfectly fine. This is where I design. I like it. It's user-friendly. It's simple for me. And what's going to happen is after we create this ad, Blogger is going to turn it into HTML code for us so that when we put it on Craigslist and all of our sites that require HTML code, we don't have to know the code. It's going to do it for us, which is a beautiful thing. So then we have all of our pictures and our live links, okay? So what I'm going to do right here in Blogger is we are going to add the image. So all I'm doing right now is I'm just browsing for the image that we just saved. And remembering what we called it is always, there it is always the hard part. And then I'm going to click add. Okay, so now it's putting the image in there for us. Now the nice thing about Blogger is you can resize the image right here without any kind of technical ability. You just make it large, extra large. Now can you already see the way this is looking and what this is going to look like when we create the ad? It looks like a form. And as you guys know, when we're using the internet, when we see something that we think is clickable or fillable or watchable, like a video, our instincts are to click. But what happens when I set this up here is it's going to click and it's going to go straight to our page that has the actual form. Market Leader is going to do the rest of the magic and snag the lead, so it all works really well together. So I've now installed the image. So what we're going to do is I just want to make sure my alignment is right. So I'm going to move everything over to the left just to make sure that picture is moving over. Okay, now here's where the magic happens, where we add a link. Okay, this is a very basic thing, but it's one that I get asked the most is how did you add a link to your image, okay? So I'm up here on Blogger, there's a little button that says link. Super simple. We're going to click link, and it's going to ask us the web address, okay? So what happens here is, let me explain it this way. So you have an office building, right? Most of us don't own our own office buildings. We're in a market center. Okay? In my case, we have two. We have an upstairs and a downstairs. So when I'm telling somebody to come find me, we'll give them the address. We'll usually tell them it's the downstairs building, go in, our office is to the left. We're giving them directions, okay? So everybody here has a .com address. You have a www. Whatever. Inside your website are multiple landing pages that have their own address, basically. So what I like to liken this to is you're basically giving them directions not to the front of your office building, you're giving directions how to get directly to your office, and that's kind of what our landing page is. And when you're capturing leads, you want to drive that consumer to what they want. If you drive them to your home page, you got a second to grab their attention, and if they don't see what they want, they're gone. So driving them directly to what it is that they want is key in capturing that lead, which is exactly what we're doing here. So we're not going to send them to the market center right now. We're going to send them to our office. We're going to send them right inside. How you get that address, you go back over here to your cell page, and right up top here, so my website is ballengrouphomes.com. You can see here that it just has this extra little cell, or the words. I'm just going to copy that URL right now. Okay, real simple, right? I'm going to go back over to Blogger, and I'm going to paste that right here in web address. So this is simply, we're giving it a link, and we're telling it what part of our website we want that clicked, where we want it to go. Okay? Now, the other main objective, like I said here, is to show up on Google. Well, a basic image ad, it will get really good Google rankings under Google Images, but you want to make sure when somebody's doing a web search that your site is coming up. So we do need to add some text. We need to add some text that has some keywords in it. We're going to title it, give it a little Google juice, if you will. So I'm going to go over here, right here, and I'm actually going to grab, let's see, I'm going to grab this top portion right here. So again, all I'm doing is copying, right? I'm going to go back over to Blogger, and I'm just going to paste that right up top. Simple, right? Just a copy and paste is all we did. Now I'm going to go back over, and I'm going to grab, some contact information right here. So again, all I'm doing is copying and pasting what is on my website. I'm going to go back over to Blogger. I'm going to go underneath this image and I'm going to paste our contact information. Okay, so you can play with it here. It's your choice how fancy you want to get with it, how simple you want to make it. In Nevada, we have very strict broker requirements. We're required to put in our fair housing laws, the disclaimers, the broker logo, that kind of information. So make sure that you're covering whatever your broker requirements are. So that's basically all we're doing there. And I'm just going to keep mine real clean and simple and just take that extra flashy stuff out. Keep the one button. Okay. Okay, so now what's happened is we've actually already created our ad here. Typically, if I'm going to run this across, I'm going to be really careful not to put too many links in my ad, because when I carry it over to Craigslist, it might get ghosted. They might have issues with the fact that I have too many links on there. So I'm going to try to keep it really simple. If I wasn't really worried about Craigslist, I might put some extra little links in there. Some links to our contact page, or links to our Meet the Team page. It has all of our videos and some of that kind of stuff. But we're just working on keeping it simple today. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to actually just highlight. Again, this is just copy and paste. And if you don't know how to copy and paste, you're in the wrong class. Okay. So we're just going to copy this. Now, this is where I start running it through all of my browsers, okay? Merchant Circle is down this morning, of all things, Murphy's Law. Merchant Circle is a blog site that I use, and it does get a lot of Google juice. So something I really, really like, and I just post my classified ads on there. Point 2 Agent is it's a broker site. It's similar like a market leader site. I've had it forever and ever and ever. It's a website that has a lot of Google juice, so I still use it. And it has a built-in blog that gets a lot of Google juice. So I use it and I post on here. So all we're going to do here, so it just opened my blog. And all I'm going to do is write on the body, I'm going to copy and paste. Real simple, right? Just basic copy and paste. Active Brain is a website. If you guys are not on, I would highly suggest everybody in this room is on Active Brain. Active Brain is more of a real estate networking blog, now becoming a social media site that has everything from real estate agents to mortgage lenders. But the consumers really like it, and Google really likes it. So it gets a lot of Google juice, is why I really like Active Brain. Tumblr is a social networking site, just really kind of getting off and running, and I've had some good results from that one as well. Just paste it out in the title. Okay, so all I'm doing again, pasting it in the body. That's it. The whole ad is copying and pasting it. OLX is a classified ad site, and these other ones I'm showing you, these classified ones, they're not like Craigslist. They're not like Craigslist where there's a consumer sitting in front of it doing a search, looking for something where you're going to get instant leads. They're not designed for that. They're designed for stickiness on Google. And if one of these ads gets indexed, it has a really good chance of staying up on page 1 for, I've had one up there for 2 years from one of these sites that's still there. So those are the reasons I do that. Okay, now we got those are the sites that take the, what you see is what you get. You know, I can actually copy and paste the actual ad and carry it over. Now I have a few that really work better with the HTML code, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to grab the code. So I'm going to go back over here to Blogger, and up top it goes from compose to HTML. So I'm going to click the HTML button and voila, HTML code. Okay? So I'm going to grab the HTML code, and I'm going to go back over here to Craigslist, and I'm going to go through my motions here where you're going to choose your categories. There we go. Oh, in this particular one, actually, in case you don't know this, I get a lot of listings from the real estate services category in Craigslist. I also post under legal services, financial services, because we do short sales, so depending on what your laws are, where you're at. So I'm going to put this one under real estate services. We're going to post that there. We're going to do the same thing in backpage.com, which is also another classified site. WordPress. WordPress works better with the code. It lays out a little bit nicer, so we're going to post that one there. And then classifiedads.com is another one that gets a lot of Google juice. We're going to post that there. Next step, we need to go back in and give it the right title. One thing I see a lot is people really miss on their titles. When you're creating a title for an ad, there's really two purposes. One, you want to create the title because Google gives a lot of juice to the title. So if you have the right keywords and the right message in your title, there's a good chance you're going to get indexed on Google for your title. But you also want to make it appealing and have a call to action to the consumer so that they want to actually click through and see that ad. So again, depending on where you're working, I'm never going to put get your free CMA. You know, it's a real estate term. It's not appealing. It's just not a good idea. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I always keep it very local. So I will always put in my city, my state, particular communities that I'm marking in my neighborhood. There's a lot of power in local marketing, so I always put that in there. So, you know, let's just say I'm still going with the short sale world. So I'm going to put, get help with your Las Vegas short sale. Something along those lines. Simple, shorter, has a call to action. It's telling them, I didn't just put Las Vegas short sale agent, I actually said get help. So you see how I'm calling them to action, to actually take action right now on that ad. Plus it has the keyword Las Vegas, it has the Las Vegas short sale in the keyword in the title. Now the other, so we need to just copy that. I do the same thing here. We're just going to paste it all the way across. So most people I know, they do this and they just stop at Craigslist and they don't take it these extra steps, posting it on all these other sites, and it's actually really amazing the kind of results you can get when you use all these other sites. Okay, so now the other thing is keywords, and I'm probably going to scare you to death right now when I show you where I get my keywords from. Okay, so I have something that I call my roster, and all it is a spreadsheet that I've been building for years that has keywords for everything I market, all my neighborhoods, so that I don't have to keep recreating keywords over and over and over again. And I spend a lot of time on my keyword research using Google Analytics and search tools and things like that, so I know what keywords work, so I don't need to keep reinventing them, so I store them in an easy to grab. So I have, they're actually alphabetized, and I have them by every neighborhood, every category. If I'm running an ad for a military division, I'm going to pull it from right here. So I'm just going to grab one of these here. And I actually usually start my keywords in Active Rain because Active Rain has a limit on how many keywords you can actually put in there. And once it shortens them, then I know that's going to be safe on all of my other sites. So I'm going to paste them in there and grab them. I'm going to go back to Blogger. So they're either called labels, keywords, or tags in most sites where you're going to plug these in. So here we're going to do the same thing on my to agent site. Let me grab it one more time. Okay, there we go. Active Rain, we're going to do the same thing in Tumblr. OLX doesn't require keywords. Craigslist doesn't require keywords, although I do add them sometimes in random places. Backpage doesn't require it. WordPress, you can take the labels. So again, all we're doing is copy and pasting all the way across. I think you get the point of that. So now I'm just going to post one. Let's go ahead and publish our Blogger one so we can see what it looks like. So we hit post, and now we're going to view what it looks like. Now some of the sites, when you start playing with them, there's a certain room in the framing. So if you want to get fancy, you can make your picture certain sizes. Personally, I don't care. The aesthetically pleasing part is not a big deal to me. It's about capturing the client more than anything. And once they're on here, they're going to click through so fast. It does not matter how perfect your ad is. The one I want to show you is how Craigslist looks. So we put that in there. Hopefully it's not going to ask me for a phone number reset, and it might. So let's do it on here so you can see what it looks like. Backpage and Craigslist, if you haven't used Backpage, they're the same. How it looks in Craigslist is exactly how it looks in Backpage. The posting is very similar. The categories are similar. So let me just show you that one. So this is the one we actually put the HTML code in. can't type, it's the lack of sleep. Okay, so let's get that one. Okay, so basically there's our ad, and I'll tell you, this ad is magic. This ad is actually really magic when it comes to listings. Again, because it's got that clickable form, so I just clicked it, and you see where it just went? So let me show you one more time. So here's your ad, we're gonna click it, it immediately opens that sell page. So it looks exactly the same on the ad as it does on the page, and the consumer doesn't even realize that they just hopped over to your page. So that's pretty much the summary of how I do this. If you wanted to, just for those of you that were really desperate to see how to generate buyer leads, when I asked you guys to raise your hands at the beginning, there's a magical tool in our e-Edge accounts, and I believe all versions of e-Edge have this. But you guys have seen the community pages, right? How many know about the community pages? Okay, so you can actually set up community pages on your e-Edge Market Leader account, and they get a lot of Google juice. I've had my e-Edge account since, I guess it was shortly after Family Reunion last year, wasn't it, when it launched, and then I upgraded shortly after that. So I'm going to say I've really been diligently working on it for about 6 months, and if you Google any of these neighborhoods, my account comes up on page 1 of Google for the community pages. And that's a very short amount of time, and these are not paid. I'm not paying any extra to drive these through. So what I'll do is typically on a morning, when I get up at 3 and start my lead generation, I create, what did I just say?
Maybe 3 o'clock.
Oh, it's the 3 o'clock in the morning thing again, isn't it? You know what's funny? I'll just tell you really quick. The reason I do that is because one thing I realized for being a mega is you're not going to get anything done during your day, right? No matter how hard you're trying, I could put caution tape across my front door, and my husband, who's my business partner, is going to barrel through it, right? There's just no way to actually. I do still block out 2 hours when I get there, but it's really hard to do that. So what I did is I actually reversed my sleep schedule, and I go to bed on an average night at about 7 o'clock at night, 7 or 8, and I wake up with so much energy, bells and whistles, and I have a good 2 hours in the morning with no phone calls, no emails, nobody's on Facebook yet. I mean, it is amazing how much I can get done. So on a typical morning, I will do one press release that I run across my entire that's a whole nother thing like this. And then I would usually submit one video to all of my video channels with tags and keywords, and I'll create about 10 ads and do what I just now did. And that's every single morning. So you can imagine what happens with the Google juice, right? Because every ad I post, they're going, oh, there's Lori Ballen again, there's Lori Ballen again, there's Lori Ballen again. So it just keeps building and building and building. And I could probably create an ad on how to buy a Smurf tomorrow, and it'll come up on page 1 of Google just because it's just, there's that many ads out there. Okay, so really fast, exactly the same thing. I'm not going to run all the way through it because I want to open for questions. But I just clicked on one of our community pages, and these ads are amazing. They're amazing. They're visually, aesthetically pleasing. They're so full of keywords, it's ridiculous. So exactly your same thing. You're going to go up and you're going to grab your snipping tool. You're going to grab your pictures here, your form. You're going to save it. So now it looks like it has a form on it. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to post on my title, the most popular homes in Aliante today. You know, the hottest foreclosures for sale in Las Vegas today. And I'm going to run that all the way across so that if somebody is searching for a particular neighborhood, I want to make sure that I come up on there. And it works exactly the same for niche markets, you know, military relocation specialists, luxury homes, gated communities, horror-stone properties, whatever your specialty is, you just grab your images and your pages and you just go to town with that, and it gets a lot of Google juice. So, John, you want to open for questions?
Oh, perfect timing. Here I am. I got pushed all the way to the front because we have about 900 people in here.
Oh boy.
This looks like the Ben Kinney audience.
Hey there. How many ads do you typically run a day? Not the same one in each one, but like various ads. And about how long are you taking to do this every morning?
Okay. On Craigslist, I run about 400 ads a day. But we're in Las Vegas, and I am not suggesting that to anybody. We don't have any choice. In our market, we have to do it. It is not spamming. We just won't get any leads unless we do that. That's how Vegas is. It's thousands of ads every minute. So typically it's a good 2 hour from 3 to 5 before gym and shower and all that. Sometimes if I skip gym and shower, no, I don't skip shower. But if I skip gym, I might go a little bit longer and go 3 or 4 hours even sometimes. On the weekends, I will do a 14-hour all-day marathon and really go to town posting it. But about 10 in the morning, create and run, and then the rest of the day is usually just Craigslist submission and yeah.
Can I take a question from this section?
So are you reposting the same ad over and over and over and over and over?
No way. No.
So how are you creating 400 different ads in one
Okay.
day?
We do have the Craigslist ad posting tool. It's in the Pro version and the Realty Generator version. So again, we carry 80 to 100 listings at any given time ourselves, my team. So we have a lot of inventory there. We can use the Craigslist posting tool and do all of those, and that's a unique ad. And then, no, literally, I get up every single day. There are 10 brand new ads. They're not reposting. The only place we do the reposting is in Craigslist. We do a lot of the renews when they come up. But I have an inventory of about 3,000 ads to cycle through on Craigslist. So they're very rarely the same one.
And can I get a question from this section?
Hi, Kirby.
So you're posting on multiple sites, right? For Google Juice?
Yes.
But aren't you scared it's going to dilute it? Isn't it better to put it in one site?
Not in my experience. Now, again, when I talk to you guys, I didn't go to school for SEO. I'm not super analytical. I judge by results. And I'm not being penalized for posting it. And I think the reason is because every ad I create is actually very unique. You know, I might grab a snippet of the top 3 lines off of that page. The next time I do the ad, they're going to be a different 3 lines. So although they go across those same 8, 9, 10, whatever, how many sites I have up there, it doesn't seem to be dinging me or hurting me. I still have the, with Panda and all that, I still have the same Google rankings that I did. So I think it's different when we're all posting the same content than when one person is posting across, and mine are also unique. I don't have issues with it.
Lori, I remember when you posted on Facebook that your Contact Us page came up #1 on Google. What search term was that for? Do you remember?
I believe it was Las Vegas short sale agents. I'm pretty sure.
We have a question in the middle.
Hi.
Hi, is this on? This is a team leader question. Have you hired an admin to leverage yourself so that you're not spending so much time doing these ads?
Great question. We hired an executive admin, of course. When we got over to Keller Williams, again, we had built a 7th level company before. We had 35 employees. Leverage is not new to us. We really understand being successful through other people. I really like this, and it's something that I'm passionate about. And I have built my team. I don't work with clients. I haven't worked with clients since 2007. My husband will at any time have one, stand up and wave, Richard Ballen, everybody. He was the magician last night. Yeah. At any given time, he may have one buyer that we have hand selected for him so we get a little bit extra that we don't have to split with everybody else. My executive ed, we do, because we're short sales, we're carrying so many of them, they're packed. They're really carrying a lot on their plates, running a team of 14 and all the buyer sides. So now we're actually looking for a lead coordinator and a lead generator to help me in that department. So at this point, it's just me and my husband helps with Craigslist. But we're working on it.
We have a question up front.
The press releases, what do those look like? The content form.
Okay, press releases, I will write a press release on everything you can imagine. If I hire a new staff member, we do a press release. If I close a short sale, we do a press release. In fact, we got 2 listings last week because I wrote a press release on the Ballen Group closes another short sale, Bank of America short sale with no deficiency to the seller. And the consumer actually Googled Bank of America Las Vegas no deficiency. Literally Googled it and filled out a request right there on my press release. So just closed, just hired. Anytime we win an award for anything, it goes in there. We recently, my husband and I, looking for talent, we figured out that we wanted to open our own little real estate training school. So we launched a mentor program where we bring in new agents, we hire and train them, and then they become candidates for the team. So I wrote a press release on that when it came out. So just anything that's newsworthy. I have a template that is, it's all kind of the same. It's a template that I use, and I only change 3 lines at the top, 3 lines at the bottom. Everything else is the same. So it's real simple to copy and paste and add to.
And look, Lori, if you could go ahead and put up the PowerPoint with the different websites you spoke about today.
Oh, yes.
I think we have time for 3 more questions. Let me get one on this side.
I'm not sure if that's the right one.
Lori, where are you posting your news releases? Sorry.
The press releases?
Yeah, where do you post those?
I have a bookmark list exactly like Chrome, but I use Firefox and it looks exactly the same. If you Google, the only one I pay for is online PR news, and it's like $14.95, and it's the cheapest of all of them. And I get I can put video in there. I can have 3 live links in there. I can put pictures in there, so it's really a nice looking one. But freepressrelease.com, PR.com. There's a million of them if you just Google press releases. Go home and Google Ballen Group press releases, and just copy all of my where I posted all my press releases.
2 more questions. Do we have anyone on the side that has a question for Lori? The very back? Here we go.
There are a bunch of tools out there now for automating the generation of the Craigslist ads and posting them. Besides the market leader tool, since you're doing so many, do you use any other services to post to Craigslist?
Yes. I use listingtoleads.com, which I adore. Their templates are simple and ugly, all the way to glamorously gorgeous, so depending on what purpose I want to serve. I use templates that I create from Tour Factory. I have a subscription to Tour Factory for the use of video, and it creates templates that are automatic submit. So yeah, I do have a few others like that.
Any additional questions? Right.
Hello, Laura Gillette from Keller Williams Realty in Lebanon, and we have a small community of like 14,000 people. And I see you have community pages, and I know on my community pages I have a few extra of the surrounding towns that I live in. But I see you said you had one of the community pages there and it had like ranch style homes. How do you, when you click on that, how do they only get the ranch style homes?
You don't right now. We don't have that kind of control yet over our community pages. What I did though is I actually, oh gosh, I wish I could show you all this. I actually went in and created my own search. Let's just say luxury homes. So I put in homes that were only over a certain price range. And then I created an ad, and I just grabbed the fanciest luxury home I could possibly find, and I put it on there and put, see all the luxury homes here, and I just copy and pasted the search string from there, and I added it to my homepage. Like I just took it off the other day, but I had all the high schools. So we weren't able to use the community pages to do that, but I was able still just to add them all to the homepage in a similar looking format and link them. So you have to go a little bit extra to actually do those.
All right, final question. On this side, right here.
Simple question. You gave us the title that you would normally use on a seller page, the short sale one. What would you use for a more typical traditional seller lead? What kind of title?
In my market, I don't know as much anymore today what people are searching for, so I would go to the Google AdWords tool and start playing with it. I know that we still get a lot of search results. People are still searching for Las Vegas listing agent, some of those weird basics. I'm going to go with home values still, but not in the traditional sense. I'm actually going to write a question on the title. What's my Las Vegas home worth? You know what I mean? I'm going to think about how the consumer might word that, or how they might actually think of a search. So home values still get a lot of search results, but I'm going to phrase it probably in the form of a question, which I see them doing a lot. And so you guys, there's a 1 o'clock panel with Chad Hyams, Matt Fettig, Al V. Boss, and myself right here at 1 o'clock following.
So you heard it here. If you didn't get enough of Lori Ballen, just stay in your same seat. We're going to get more, but I want to ask you if we could also do a webinar.
Yes, absolutely. Love it.
We'll let you recover from family reunion.
Okay, yeah, good.
Maybe sometime in March.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Give it up for Lori Ballen.